And welcome to my little tutorial that I'm going to be showing you about how to create your logo design. And this will hopefully give you a couple of steps to understand as we go through this whole process. So what I want to do is I've got a little document right here that I've kind of started messing around with. So I'm going to make a new document, go File, New. And we want to name it Lakeville. We'll just call it Lakeville Tire. Size is 11 by 8.5. Standard sheet of paper, just horizontal. Remember, vertical or horizontal. Click OK. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to go File, Place. So I want to find the template that we created before. Here's the template as a PDF. Click on here. Move it to somewhere in the middle so it's easy to see. Okay. Now what I want to do is lock that layer, double click on it, make it a template, and I'm even going to rename it template. So there we go. Next, what I want to do is make a new layer. So this is the layer that I'm going to be working on for all of this. So for starters, I'm going to make the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to make this basic shape here. It's about the right size. I'm going to move it over a little bit. Then grab this and pull it into the inside, so now I've got my rounded rectangle. So pretty good so far. I want to change the color of it, so I can go in here, change the color. I'm going to make it red. Okay, so far so good. Next, what I want to do is I want to make this little piece here. And so I'm going to use the ellipse tool. And so I'm going to press the Shift. Let's see if this will work here. Shift and Option. So if I hold the Shift key, it's going to make it a perfect circle. If I press the Option key, it makes it from the middle. So I'm going to drag it to here. Now it's a little bit off, so I'm going to use the Shift key to move it over just a little bit. When I say Shift key, I meant the space bar. So I've got it here, press the space bar, and then I can move it around, release the space bar, and now it's about the right size. So there we go. So that part's done. Now, in case I want to see what's going on the inside, I'm going to make another shape. So I'm going to press the Shift, see here, and Option, so it's the right size, and then use the space bar to move it around, so it's the right size. There we go. Good enough. Okay. Next, I'm going to select both of these circles, and I want to make them, we'll just make them both blue or black for right now. If I want to change the color, I can go in here, click on the fill box, change the color I want. So there we go. So that part's done. Now, what I want to do with this part is I want to make what I call a donut. So I want to get rid of this part in here. So there's a couple different ways, but the way we've learned so far is Object, Compound Path, Make. And when you do this, you've got to make sure that you select both areas. So now I've got that part done. Perfect. Next thing I want to do, so I've got my circle and I've got my rounded rectangle. I am going to select both of these, so I'm going to go Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in front. Don't just paste it because it's going to paste it in a random spot, so I want to paste it right in front of it. And so now here are my extra shapes. So I highlight those two, and I can start working on these. Now I want to move, let's see here, I'm going to grab these two pieces, and I want to do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to go Object, Compound Path, Make. And so now this part's done. Okay, so now I've got this shape. Now the next piece is I've got to work with appearances. So I'm going to go Window, Appearances. If it's checked, then it's already open. If it's not checked, then obviously click on it, and then it'll be checked and it'll be open. So here's my compound path here and my appearance. So I want to add a stroke to it. And if we look at the shape, let's go back into here. If we look at this, and I highlight this, I've got a border on here that's white and blue. So I want to make sure that border is visible. So what I want to do is I want to change the background to blue, and I want the stroke to be white. And I'm going to make this about, I think 9 is what we set it at. Okay, now it doesn't look so good so far, so I want to add another stroke to here. So when I click on here, now I've got a second stroke added. And I add the blue. Next, I'm going to make this, since it's not showing up, it means it's probably not selected. So let's try this again. Add a stroke, change this to blue, and then I'm going to change the points to 18. So now I've got that. Now this side is really thick compared to this one. So that means I probably have to pull the fill up higher and above it. And now when the fill goes over the stroke, now it eliminates the inside thickness of the stroke. So now that part's looking a lot better. Next, I want to pull this piece in. Now with this shape, I've still got a black border on it, but I'm going to change that because I want this white border to be consistent all the way around. So I'm going to go into my appearances, make sure this is selected, and I'm going to change the stroke to white. And I should try to go to about 9. I think that will work. There we go. So now it's consistent all the way around. Now again, see how thick this piece is right here? So we don't want that, so I got to drag the fill above the stroke. So that part's done. So now, here's how I've got so far. This is looking pretty good. Next, I want to add the text. And so I'm just going to type Lakeville. Now the font isn't very good. I think there's a specific font that we want. But for now, I think I'm going to use Arial Black. That's pretty bold and legible. So I'm going to fill the space here. And I'm not holding the Shift key because I want to stretch this out a little bit so it fills the space a little bit better. And then I'm going to want this white. So there we go. And again, I can clean this up a little bit, make it a little bit smaller, make it a little bit taller, wider, so it fills the space consistently. Okay. Now I have this part here. It's going to say, what is it going to say? Goodyear Tire and Auto. So for this, I've got to use the type tool. So I'm going to type Goodyear. And what I want to do is I'm going to make this spaced out pretty evenly right through here. Okay, so now this is where I want this part. Now I want to change the color of it to white. Now if this happens, I'm going to go into my control panel. Now if this isn't showing up here, we go Window, Controls. Here's my toolbar, so I've got the basics, but the control bar, that is this whole area up here. And it's visible. So now I'm going to click on this part, and this is where this is showing up. Now if I'm looking at it and it's not showing up, make sure you check the preview box. And so there's different ways that you can do this. But for this, we want the arc. And then we can change the size as much as we want to, but we want it to be kind of balanced in here. So I'm going to click OK, press the Option key so it pulls from the middle, and then I can pull this here, and then just make some simple edits so it fits the space pretty well. So there's my Goodyear. And now the next part is I want to type Tire and Auto. Now I'm going to leave this in black for right now because some of you, this is what's going to happen is you might screw this part up. So I'm going to hold the Shift key, get it to the right spot, so I kind of want it evenly spaced this way. And then I'm going to go back into the warp, click the preview, but now it's obviously going the wrong way, so I'm going to go the other way. And then you can kind of figure out which will look best. And then click OK when you think it's done. Now I'm going to hold the Option key so it fills the space a little bit better. Bump it up. Okay, so now that part's done. Now here's the tricky part. I want to change this color to white, but it's probably not going to change. So now I can't change it. So you can either go backwards a couple steps and then change the color beforehand, or just go into Appearance, and I should be able to fill this with a color. And there we go. Awesome. So that part's done. So there's my Goodyear Tire and Auto assignment. Now when I'm done with it, I might want to go File, Save As, but that would save it as a PDF, which we don't want. So we're going to go Export. We can always do either of these two. Save As is probably the best, or Export As. And then it's a PNG right now, so we're going to save it as a JPEG. Make sure it's named the right way, make sure the location is correct, and then you'll just click Export, and then it'll show up on your desktop. And then this part here is really important because we want to make sure the file size is the right size, because sometimes if it's this small, it's going to be pixelated, so we want it as a large file. Click OK, and then you're done. So that is how we make this logo design. So hopefully that helps you as you start making your own logo design and go from there. So anyway, if you have any questions, contact me. email, whatever way, message me, you name it. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Good luck to you. See ya.